Hey everyone, Dave Hardy here. Today I'm going to show you my favorite way to cook a trout. But first I'm going to show you a step-by-step demonstration how I break down and debone the trout. And then we're going Mediterranean by sauteing the trout with lemon and herbs. I'm going to do roasted vegetables and garbanzo beans and then a cucumber feta salad to go on top. Before you do anything with the trout, you always want to give it a good rinsing first. So even if you bought your fillets from a store, they almost always have a little layer of slime on them that's going to prevent you from getting that extra crispy skin that we're looking for. And run your finger along the inside to get out any of that yucky stuff. And when you're done, it should feel nice and smooth, not like somebody just gave you a spit handshake. Now dry it off with a towel and lay it on your cutting board. Take the head and bend it back to break it from the spine. If you're baking the trout, you may choose to leave this on, but I prefer to remove it. And a pair of kitchen shears helps with that. And while I'm at it, I'll cut off the tail, also optional, and remove this dorsal fin. And that little guy too. Now it's a lot easier to work with. Up here by the head, or where it used to be, is a collarbone. Poke your knife right behind it and trim that off. Do the same on the other side. Now comes the tricky part, so take your time here. Fish the knife right under the ribs, no pun intended, and with the blade tilted slightly up, run along the bone until it breaks free. Then continue down until you reach the anal fin. No butt jokes, please. This is serious business. Do the same on the other side so that it opens up more and it's easier to see what you're doing. Once you're past the ribs, you'll see the white part here. You can follow that all the way down to the skin. Now you can cut along this rear fin here to free the fillet completely. Notice that I'm not cutting through the skin. Now turn it around and continue on the other side. You can almost peel it away from the white part, but the meat is delicate and will tear if you're not careful. But don't cut through the skin. Once the second fillet is freed, you can gently trim it from the inside of the skin. And this is what you're looking for. No meat stuck on, just bones. Now to clean this up, I want to remove this thin belly portion from each side and trim away this inside part where some of the bones from the dorsal fin remain. The only hole you should have is right here. Now that looks pretty good, but we still have a line of pin bones here. If you have a good pair of fish tweezers, you can pull them out individually, but they can be a pain, especially if you have a whole lot of fish to clean. So an alternate method would be to cut them out. If you run your fingers along this upper portion here, you can feel them sticking out. Now take your knife and place it right on the edge of the bone so that it's lined up. Then come down right beside them. Keep going until you get down to the skin. Repeat on the other side until they come free. You don't want to remove too much meat, but if you're too precise, the bones separate and won't come out as one piece, as shown here. Let's try that again. Find the bones, run along going all the way down. Again on the other side, and they're free. Much better. Now I have a completely boneless double fillet. So if you're grilling this, it's nice to stuff the inside with some herbs, maybe lemon slices, some garlic, and cook it on the grill folded up like a sandwich. But I'm going to saute it, so I want to break it down to more manageable portions. So I'm going to split it, trim up the skin, and cut each fillet in half since they're so big. For a smaller fish, you could leave this as whole fillets. Now after you've mastered this and you're looking for an extra challenge, try doing it with the camera in your face. Beautiful. Now I'm going to put this away, clean up, and build the rest of this dish. So all you have to do is measure out your beans and add 3 times the amount of cold water. So if you have 1 cup of beans, do 3 cups of water. So I soaked a 1-pound bag of beans in 3 pints of water. For those not fluent in measurement, that's 6 cups. Park it in the fridge overnight and they'll plump up all nice. But they're not done yet. Drain that water and place them in a pot with now 4 times the water, which for me would now be 2 quarts. Add a tablespoon of kosher salt, 2 bay leaves, 4 cloves of garlic, and for a little extra flavor, I like to throw in the zest of 1 lemon. You could use a microplane here, but I like to pick these out later, so I'll fillet them from the lemon. Cut off the skin almost like you're making segments, except a little deeper. And then go back and cut away all of the white pith. It curls up at first, but if you take off a little each time in small passes, it will eventually flatten out so you can get the rest. Although a razor sharp knife is essential. Bring your beans to a simmer and let them cook for about 2 hours until they're soft. Skimming the foam is optional. Once they're soft, strain off the liquid and cool them until you're ready to cook. And there's a lot of flavor in that liquid, which would be perfect if you wanted to use it for a soup. So I'll keep that for another meal. And if you're really in a hurry, you can use canned garbanzo beans for this. but I think they're a little softer and lacking in the flavor department.
Clean up on aisle 9.
So I prefer to leave that for the hummus. But when I'm doing this, I like to make extra so that I have more for other meals throughout the week. So now I'm going to cut some zucchini by removing the ends, splitting it in half, and going on to make a large dice. Do the same with a piece of yellow squash, only when you get to the fat side, give it an extra cut down the middle before dicing. If your squash is bigger than this, you'll have to adjust accordingly so that it's all the same size. Add that to a bowl with 2 cups of garbanzo beans and 2 cups of whole grape or cherry tomatoes. Core and dice 1 large red bell pepper, toss that in. Dice 3/4 of a medium red onion, toss that in. Then 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, 2 tablespoons of fresh parsley, 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, 1 tablespoon of fresh mint, and finally, the zest and juice of 1 lemon. This takes vegetable medley to a whole other level. Seriously. And once it's all stirred up, spread it out on a sheet pan, drizzle it with some extra virgin olive oil, and bake it 450 degrees. And this will take about 15 minutes until everything gets some color and softens up a bit. And since there's a good possibility that your vegetables aren't exactly the same size as mine, all these measurements are just to give you an idea. So most of it should be by taste. Now the last thing I need before I cook the fish is to construct my cucumber feta salad. So I take a half an English cucumber, cut it in half lengthwise, and using a small spoon, scoop out the seeds. Then slice it on a thin bias. You could remove the skin if you wanted, but I like it. And next I'll thinly slice that remaining 1/4 of an onion from earlier. And place that in a large bowl with the cucumber. And to really kick up the flavor, I'll add 1/4 of a cup of Kalamata olives. So I'm just making slivers here by cutting them in half and then slicing them lengthwise. Out in the garden I have this beautiful mint growing, so I clipped a few sprigs of it, minced them up, and toss that into a bowl with about 3 ounces of crumbled feta. Finish it with a sprinkle of salt and pepper to taste and a nice drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. And what I love about this dish is all the different flavors and textures, making every single bite something new. And best of all, this can all be done ahead of time, so when it comes time to cook, you pop your veg in the oven, you saute your trout, you're done in no time. Oh, and the last thing I did before I started cooking was to cut a lemon in half. And I want to scrape out the seeds. I'm going to sear this guy to garnish the plate with, and the last thing you want when squeezing a lemon on your food is to be messing with seeds. So the vegetables are almost done. Now time to cook the fish. A little salt and pepper, fresh parsley, and some fresh lemon zest. Do this on both sides of the fish. Now the pan is already hot. I just need a little olive oil. Carefully lay down the fish, skin side down. These are really thin, so it doesn't take long, but it does need to spend more time on the skin side so it gets nice and crispy. This is medium heat, by the way. So you'll want to place the lemons cut side down, just long enough for them to get a little bit of caramelization. Flip the fish over when the skin is crispy. And see, I got a little color on the flesh side. And if you feel the urge to tempt these, they should have an internal temperature of 135. Okay, fish is done. Now let's check the veg. It's looking good. Time to plate. There isn't really a right or wrong way how to plate it, but this is how I do it. I put the veg down in the middle of the plate, fish propped up to the side, cucumber salad on top, and a little drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. How sexy is that? And don't forget that lemon. There we go. But that's all I've got for this episode. I'd like to take this time to say thanks to all those that have been showing me your support throughout this journey. If it's your first time here, I'd love to see you stick around, so drop down to the comments, say hi. And if you'd like to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button and I'll see you next week. But for now, I'm starving. I got some trout to eat, so I'll see you later. Bye. Oh man, that's good. So if you're grilling this, and next I'll thinly slice that remaining 1/4 of a Next I'll thinly